Hi again. Good to have you still with us for more Explore Tulsa.
Trish, how can you be so calm? Big 12 conference play starts this weekend with both Oklahoma and OSU in the top 10.
No worries, because Chris Lincoln is back with two of his favorite sports friends, coaches J.V. Haney and Gil Cloud, with the Oklahoma sports scene.
You know, I thought I was retired. I've retired 2 or 3 times, it seems like. First from, we sold our Wintercom company 2007, thought I was retiring. Channel 8 was nice enough to come back and say, hey, we'd like to see you, we'd like to come back and do some sports for a year or so. So maybe just for a year, just a little bit. Then the next thing I know, that's 5 years later. And these idiots pay me to go to national championship games, Super Bowls, World Series, bowl games, NCAA Final Fours. It's been a great life. And I think that's what you need to find a job you love, because then you'll never work a day in your life.
Well, Chris, I've known Chris for 30 years. I was at Union for 15 years back, came in 1976, and so I met him because he was at Channel 8 at the time. JV was at Webster as the athletic director at Webster, and so we've just been friends for all this time. And then when we put together the Hall of Fame for TPS 5 years ago, Chris is our master of ceremonies. They're both on the committee. And so we got to talking about the sports scene hadn't been on in 2 years, and this is something that we really would like to do. So it just kind of manifests itself over a period of time, and here we are.
Well, of course, I graduated from high school in Oklahoma, and I graduated from college in Oklahoma, and I taught and coached for 30 years, and have been involved in the radio and television for really another 30 years. So that's all I know, that's all I've ever done, and I love it. Well, I got into as far as communication is concerned, I got into it strictly as kind of a hobby, and that was back in that last century. Back in the late 1970s and early 80s, Jerry Vaughn, who was with KRMG at that time doing sports, well, I would go in and sit in with him, and then it just kind of caught ahead that we did it. Bill Land comes in to the program, and we do the radio, and then we get into television. For 18 and a half years, we did a show similar to what we're doing now with Chris Lincoln.
Well, when JV and Gil approached me and said, we want to start up our sports scene show again. It's been very popular. I was a guest several times on their show, and it was J.V. Haney and Bill Land, and Cox Cable did a great job of promoting the show.
Well, having watched JV and Bill Land all the time that I was in Tulsa, in and out of Tulsa over the last 30 years, it was a good, relaxed sports talk show. I think they gave the viewers some information they needed to know, some inside information that they may not pick up at the 6 and 10 and 5, 6 and 10. And so when we talked about that, we said, let's do something that the viewers can really get some information about athletics and the sports that are going on in the state, and have some guests that can really ring the bell for us. And I think we really have some great people so far, and we've got some great people lined up.
And we get to sit and talk and discuss, have guests, where before we'd have 15, 20-second sound bites, and for the rest of it go to .com. Well, now we have a full hour. We have special guests. We started with Derek Gragg, the University of Tulsa athletic director. We had Alan Trimble, the Jenks football coach, and all the things he's going through. We had Mike Boynton, the head basketball coach at Oklahoma State University, on the show with us. Uwe von Schamann with the kick before the Ohio State game, the famous OU place kicker. We had Mike Milleg on talking about the Tulsa Drillers and their the great season they had. And future guests we have coming over are Mike Holder, the athletic director for the Cowboys at Oklahoma State. And then really looking forward to the king himself, Barry Switzer, coming over and be a full hour with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene in November.
What do I take away? Well, it's like in a classroom. I learn something at every show. Chris will say something, Gil will say something, but if you listen, you will learn something at every show, and I do that. That's a hobby of mine.